Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call us back to order. Returning to public session. This is a meeting of the North Andover School Committee. Yeah, we're good. We're on. I think we're on. You gave me the.
Oh, I didn't see.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. This evening, I'd like to begin the return to public session with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'd like to invite public comment, if there is any.
Where would I do that?
I think you can, right there, with the microphone next to Marcy.
I'm going to drag this chair up here. These guys, you co-opted my chair by public. Stan Lippert, 43 Stone Cleave Road. I come tonight to honor Mike Motherway in his retirement, but to speak a little bit to the wonderful contribution he's made to our students, our school, our community, really. I met Mike almost day one. He was, believe this if you will, he was my replacement, right? I taught for one semester at the high school, his course, Tech Ed, and bailed because I didn't know what I was doing. I told him, this is not going to work out. So they very fortunately got Mike in 2005, and he's been doing this ever since. We got started doing robotics in maybe 2007, 2008. Started doing tournaments. He was he had students building robots before that, but that's really when we started doing tournaments. And that, as you all know, that's grown and grown over the years until it's become a very successful activity. I actually would liken what Mike's done with robotics to some of our really good sports teams, like wrestling or cross country, people that really have put together a team that goes on and on year after year. He's just done great year after year after year with the students and their successes. I was thinking about tonight, saying something about Mike. Mike's been doing DEI before we had DEI. He's always been very inclusive. He's always tried to get everyone to participate in the programs, particularly the women that are in his classes. And he's been very, thoughtful and about getting everybody involved and as part of the process. He's been very, very, very good about that. And as you guys know, it must have been a successful program because, they do good swag, right? They have, you can't be bad if you have good stuff. So Mike's just been a wonderful asset to our educational programs, and he's been doing something that we don't have much of in our schools anymore, which is hands-on education. Students really getting an opportunity to sort of combine good learning and good ideas with actually implementation. And it's something we don't have as much of as we used to. The last time we did any of that was when we tore down our old school, right? When we had a comprehensive high school. We don't do that much anymore. This is about one of the few things, other than art, music maybe, where we really get a chance to do that. And I think it's been a real benefit for those students that have participated. I guess the way I would measure that is a number of those students have gone on to engineering careers or even become entrepreneurs based on some of the things that they got involved with Mike, working with Mike. So I think that's just one measure of our success or his success in doing this. The other thing I would say is that he was able to get a lot of parental support for the program. Parents would very gladly help, not only with classes and things and the club, but also with the tournaments. And there was a very steady group of very conscientious parents that would continue to help us do tournaments and everything. And I would be also remiss if I didn't specifically do a shout out to Kim Hurst, our super volunteer, who was the person that really helped make everything work for a number of tournaments. So she's always been a wonderful volunteer. But I just wanted to come and thank Mike and for everything that he's done for our community, the students, the families that have been involved, our high school, everything about it. He's just been a wonderful resource. He's an amazing guy. I don't think I've ever, in all the time I've known him, I don't think I've ever heard him raise his voice. He's a very quiet leader. Has that sort of unique quality to sort of shepherd people along without having to yell at them. He's been very good at that. So I think he's set a great example for his students, and I think that shows in the results that he's gotten. So I just wanted to thank Mike for his contribution to our schools.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Stan. Any other public comment?
Oh, you want my chair?
Yeah. And you should sit over there next to me.
Yeah.
Helen Picard, 447 Waverly Road. This is public comment from former school committee number 2. I just wanted to share with you all that I went to the BRC meeting today, which was extremely well attended and had a lot of terrific energy. And there were comments from the community that North Andover is really ahead of the curve on addressing the issues because of our long-term commitment to raise values. So I just wanted to let you all know that. It had kind of, you know, between COVID and it being a long-standing committee, the energy had kind of waned, and it's really up, and there was a lot of participation. I think doing it online was helpful for people because they weren't trying to run out of their schools in the middle of the day, which is challenging, but I just wanted to show that it was a really positive thing. And if there's anybody in the community that's interested, that is an open group, and the next meeting is February 15th. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Ellen.
Do you want to go?
All right. Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, excellent. We have some recognition today.
Recognition. So we have with us tonight members of the North Andover High School robotics team, and they're actually in the superintendent's report, and we're going to celebrate them because, I mean, it was pretty historic, their performance at the competition the other day, winning the Excellence Award, the Skills Champions, as well as the Tournament Champions. So unbelievable. They call it the Triple Crown of Robotics, which is really hard to do. It's typically a baseball reference or horse racing maybe as well.
And baseball.
Anyway, but one of the main things, and it Stan in the public comment, Limpert, this is a good segue into that. So I would like to, Mike, if you could come on up. I'd like to read what was announced at the high school today from the high school principal, Chet Jackson. It said, "Today is Mike Motherway's last day of employment for North Andover High School, and he will be officially retired. Although retirees are not officially celebrated until the spring at our district's social event, I would like to thank Mike for his almost 19 years of service to the students and the North Andover High School community. Mike has been our longtime digital fabrication and robotics instructor since our current building opened. He was also our first Scarlet Knight Academy director when we restarted night school in 2008. Mike was the creator of our robotics program, growing the program and advocating for the program over the last several years. He's left a lasting mark at NAHS, and on behalf of NAHS, I'd like to wish Mike a happy and healthy retirement." And that was from the principal, and we also are recognizing you here tonight, Mike. I had the good fortune of hiring Mike back in 2004. Yeah, and this says, presented by the North Andover Public Schools, and grateful recognition to Mike Motherway for his exemplary dedication and leadership of the robotics team. Your commitment, mentorship, and guidance not only fueled success in competitions, but also inspired a passion for innovation among the students of North Andover High School. With deep appreciation, Superintendent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now you have a speech.
Congratulations.
All right, that's
Enjoy your retirement. I bet you'll be back.
Thank you. So we have robotics team here tonight, and one of the things I appreciate being part of the journey. I feel like I'm part of the journey for some of the students that develop and go on to engineering programs, and we at the school get into collaboration quite a bit. We have early release collaboration days. This team is a very good model of collaborating. They collaborate amongst each other and with other teams. They reach out to some of the teams that have graduated and gone on to college and ask them for suggestions, and they mentor the younger teams. And I'm impressed and proud of the fact that they won the 3 awards this past time, but they're still in the middle of their season and competing, and they have a very good explanation and demonstration for you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Awesome. That's great stuff. All right. And we're going to see that in just a few minutes. We have some consent item, one consent item, the minutes of November 16th, 2023.
I'll move to approve the minutes of November 16, 2023 as presented in the packet.
Is there any discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. We'll go this way. Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
McDevitt? Ms. Koenig?
Yes.
Ms. Petrowski?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Moving right along, we come to the fun part, one of the fun parts tonight. We have multiple fun parts. We have a lot of fun parts tonight. But what's usually one of the standout fun parts are student representatives. We have Ben, Cece, and Harper here. So take it away.
Good evening, everyone. This week's actually been quite long. Lots happened at the high school. So recently we had the Student Council Thanksgiving Food Drive. We've had a total of 306 donations. There were multiple teachers, so basically there was these boxes outside of each teacher's classroom, and whoever had the most food donations, they had to wear a turkey costume for the whole day. So Mr. Delkai, he had the most donations with over 100 donations.
Wow. Did you get a picture, I hope?
We did.
Okay.
Next we had the North Andover East Region, the Northeast Region of Student Councils Conference was held at the North Andover High School. It was a few weeks ago. It was lots of fun. A lot of delegates from different schools, they came to present their workshops they've been working really hard on. Actually, me and Harper got to present our workshop. And we had a really cool keynote speaker. We had Rob Surratt come, and he did an amazing presentation. It was really eye-opening and inspiring, and I think it really it helped encourage and inspire a lot of leaders there at that conference. And then we have Student Council Elves. So that is being planned right now, which is basically where Student Council, we go and clean a bunch of teachers' classrooms to show our appreciation for their hard work.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben, for those who don't know me. The science team came in first place at the November meet. We were first in 2 out of the 3 events, an engineering event and a Manhattan Project event. Congratulations to the robotics team on their Triple Crown victory. And thank you to Mr. Motherway for his almost 2 decades of service in the public schools. Alex Havermeyer, an 8th grader at North Andover Middle School, was selected as the Project 351 ambassador. As ambassador, he'll complete a year of service for the town. He'll represent North Andover at launch day in January. And he completes a year of community service and civic leadership in the town, leading clothing drives and food drives, and kind of learning the values of Project 351. He'll be joining myself and a freshman at the high school, Lila Lobel, as Project 351 alumni or ambassadors. There's a financial aid workshop tonight at the auditorium at the high school, and Plymouth State University is hosting an on-the-spot decision meeting on the 13th of December. Students who are interested in going to Plymouth State University can go to the meeting, and they'll be told whether or not they've been accepted at the meeting if they've prior applied. So it's pretty exciting.
Hello,
There's a college-bound juniors night on January 9th, and it's an opportunity for juniors and their parents to hear from colleges and college admission counselors and guidance about the application process. NHS induction night happened a few weeks ago on November 15th with over 100 inductees from the junior and senior class. And winter sports are starting with boys and girls basketball, indoor track, wrestling, gymnastics, and the ski team starting up practices and for the season.
All right, great. That was this week, right? Yeah. All right. Any questions or comments for our?
Great job.
Yep. All right. Thank you, guys. As always, I always say the same thing. You can stay if you want, but we get it if you want to or have to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we will move to the superintendent's report.
All right. First up, and it's best to talk into the microphone. I know we're going to maybe have to clear out a little space, but we have the North Andover High School award-winning robotics team, and we'll have Mr. Motherway and Mr. Bennett Ahern. Mr. Ahern is taking over from Mr. Motherway, and he looks so excited down in that shop today. Yeah, big shoes to fill, but I think he's got some ideas of his own as well. Yeah. So if we could invite them up and let's make the space we need.
Do we need to move the table?
Yep.
Am I gonna get things thrown at me?
We can only hope.
I got that right here for you, right?
Fair warning, Dr. Gillens, Billy already had some practice.
They're so slippery.
Oh, you want to be ready?
Oh.
It's all right, I'm a first baseman. I'm ready.
Okay, so first, just a short, brief explanation is this is the robot that we competed with on in the November competition. Basically, the main idea of it is just that this front thing is supposed to intake the. You have one of the balls next to you. So the aim of the game is basically just like moving these around the field and scoring them in what is basically like an upside-down soccer net. So the main idea is that this lifts up and it sucks it in, and then we just like spit it out into the net. And then the other part of it is that this is a catapult, so we load this in and can shoot it across the field. And then another big portion of the game is like you have to try and make the robot hang off the ground. So this thing comes up, and then there's a horizontal pole that is on the field, and then this glides onto the pole and lifts the bot off the ground, and the pole sits like in here. So the bot's elevated like this. So those are the three big parts of the game, and our bot's able to accomplish all three of those. Anything you want to?
Yes.
Okay.
So, as far as points go in this game, on the field there is about 12 tri-balls, each one underneath the net. Usually it counts for 5 points, and on the other side of the field it counts as 2. So since there's only 12 tri-balls in the field, there's only a limited amount of points that you can be scored. But on the outside of the field, there is 22 more that you can actively put into the field by placing them inside your bot. So for presentation purposes, you want to turn on the code?
Yep.
If you guys want, we can put it on the ground if you need it, whatever you want.
I think the table's probably a good angle.
Yeah. Joe, I think they're taking aim right at you.
Looks like he's pointing at you, Joe.
No, and I do
Do I get
Hey,
points
get
if
the
I
gloves
knock
on.
the pass down?
That's what they told us to do.
Can you guys just, do you mind introducing yourselves?
Only because I recognize like a couple of you, and then like I probably haven't seen you in like so many years. I'm like blanking
Yeah.
right now.
So I'm Noah.
You probably should have introduced ourselves.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm Noah Imperato. I'm the main builder of this robot.
Okay.
I'm Ajay. I work on the documentation engineering notebook.
I'm Jack. I drive the robot during the games, and I also am one of the main builders.
I'm Sam. I am pit crew kind of and part builder.
I'm Nico. I'm the lead programmer.
Who's missing?
And then we also have Grant Phelan on our team, who's another like main builder. He wasn't able to get work off.
Are you all seniors?
Yes.
Yes.
And is this your first year working together, or you've been a team for the past couple?
It's
Past year and a half, we've all
cut,
been
yeah.
together.
So it started with me, Noah, and Ajaya in our sophomore year, and then it's slowly evolved since then. But this is our first year with all of us starting the year with all of us together.
And is this the same? Are you going to go to Houston, right?
Hopefully.
Dallas, hopefully, right? Will this be the same game robot you have to build for there, or you get a new assignment?
We're building a different robot, but it's the same aim of the game because like
Got
the
it.
robot evolves throughout the season.
Yeah,
And we
so-
have until May.
Different things.
Yeah, so over the season, new ideas are made. People innovate on other people's ideas, so the meta kind of changes as the game goes along. So since this bot might have won this competition, without improving on it, it won't have a chance of.
People are coming for you now.
Yeah, people will come for us. Yes. Make improvements that are bot to best ours. So, do you want to run the code? Well, who wants to be launched at first?
Joe, Mr. Hicks has been talking about this.
I'm so excited. You can bring it on. Is it fast? Am I gonna?
Yeah. So.
You can see it coming.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Joe, I'm sure you'll get the timing down, just so when it comes over here, we'll be ready.
All right. So as Mr. Gilligan said earlier, these tri-balls, I can pass one around. They're overall pretty sleek and hard to hold. So for our loading purposes, trying to get them out as fast as possible for the matches, we have these little football gloves. They help grip the balls a little bit better, so that you don't have an issue with the loading of the tri-balls into the catapult. Otherwise, they kind of just go fly around. Let's see. It's gonna probably so the distance between the catapults, like where the loading position is, and the other side of the field is around 4 feet. So if you overshoot, you lose points, and if you undershoot, you don't get them over the barrier to get to the other side of the field. So
Is there a time that you have to do as many as?
Yes. So the matches are around a minute. So we have to try to minute technically.
I'm in at 45.
Yeah. In that time frame, you want to get them as fast as possible. So our catapults, it can get all the tri-balls out, all 44 of them
For skills, which is 1 minute.
Yeah, which is 1 minute in 30 seconds, and in matches, it only takes 15. So we're taking a very minuscule amount of time for the matches.
So no one.
It'll be a bit hard to demonstrate on the table, but basically they went through a lot of training to it's like an internal metronome. This thing just keeps shooting, and they just keep going in.
And you said the range was 4 feet or 40?
Yeah, around 4 feet.
Yeah, so it might not even reach because it's not built to go that far.
So.
Yeah, they're just buttering us up. It's gonna fire out of there.
And now get ready to press Y.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, obviously, if we were to add more rubber bands, it would reach a farther distance, but we've tuned this robot to that 4 feet range so that it's efficient per shot.
Now, if you want to move the table up, we can get a little closer to Mr. Hicks.
I think you should, so we can catch them.
Sure.
At some point, you have to pick them up as well. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what this front thing is.
Okay.
Here, I'll demonstrate it.
So it kind of sweeps it almost, right?
Yeah. So.
Like a golf cart, like a driving range?
Yes.
Oh, I'm running it wrong.
So you guys were telling me that you program it in C++?
Yes.
Are you self-taught
Yeah,
So this holds it.
Nico, why don't you
I'll let you explain the code.
You usually learn it by watching a couple of YouTube videos, looking at some stuff and just applying it and trying to see what works and what doesn't.
Okay.
It's kind of a lot of just bashing your head against a brick wall, but you get there eventually.
Yeah, I don't want to scare you guys off, but in real ledger, you do a lot of bashing your head against the wall too. So
And
it's not that different.
over the summer, I was learning something called a PID controller,
Yep.
which makes the bot gradually slow down as it reaches a certain point.
What is PID?
It's a proportional integral derivative. And it's kind of when you hit the brakes of the car when it's going really fast and it kind of jolts. So the same thing happens with the bot. So you need it to gradually slow down as it reaches a certain point instead of just jolting and messing up sensors.
Yeah.
And one more question, if I might. So the coding that you do, doing it on your own personal computers, or you're doing it on school computers? What are you using for a development environment?
It's like a school computer that you're able to bring home. It's like a laptop that you get to work on whenever.
All right. And it's a standard, you don't need any, it doesn't have to be a super.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a supercomputer.
It's not a
no.
Chromebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But as you mentioned, working over the summer, basically to just tell a brief story of how we got to this point. Last year we did absolutely awful. So our goal to not do that again was the second they revealed the games, which is the whole scoring these. It changes every year. So they revealed that in April. So instead of waiting until the beginning of this year, which would have been standard season, the second the game was revealed, we all started talking about what our plan was, testing different solutions when we were in the robotics room. And then over the summer, we helped Mr. Motherway at Phillips Academy so that we could also continue developing and testing different components over the summer to make sure that we would be fully seasoned and ready for the beginning of the actual season. So a big reason why we did really well at the November competition is because we were much more prepared than all of the other robots there and had much more experience with that.
So what version is this since the spring?
Version 3.
Version 3, yeah.
We've made a few slight changes to it since that competition to try and optimize it for the next one, but most of it is pretty much still the same.
And what are you planning for January?
We have another side project bot that we're working on the side, so that it's basically a 2-month bot is what we're calling it, so that one will be fully optimized and there won't be any problems with it for the full testing and everything for the January competition.
So the next one they're going to also add something to it.
Yes, so in this game, there's offensive and defensive tactics that you can employ. For example, this little panel comes back up and expands so that not only can you block other people's not only hang, you can also block other people's shots to avoid them going over the barrier on the field. So to counter the catapult blocker, we've made a plan to raise our launcher mechanism up to 2 feet so that we can launch over other people's catapult blockers as a way of making a different strategy to adapt to people's plans.
But the competition could be watching, so I just don't
This is highly publicized.
That would be like saying our launcher, instead of being down here, it'd be all the way up where this was, up here.
Right there.
But
That's a good question for you. Can you fake? Can you pretend to go up and then go down?
Kinda. It can shoot from the bottom too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh,
but the challenge for that is that the bot has to, when the match starts, it has to be within 18 by 18 inches. So the mechanism for making it go up is called a 4-bar. So basically it
You have to
starts
make
down
them
here
grow.
and then it expands up, so it goes about this high. So it's easier to shoot from higher up over the catapult blockers, and it overcomes the challenge because most people wouldn't expect it to be that high up. So they wouldn't really have a counter to it.
Do you use sensors on this?
Yes. Nico, do you want to explain
So-
the sensor?
We used a couple sensors, we had a distance sensor in here, or we do actually still have a distance sensor in here, that detects if the tri-ball is in the intake, for it to stop intaking, for example. We have motor encoders to figure out the degrees and the amount of times the motors spin. And there's also just a rotation sensor on the catapult, right around in this mess, but it detects the rotation and makes it so the catapult would stop at a certain point.
Still using the inertial sensor?
And yeah, we have the inertial sensor that detects the heading of the robot,
Degrees.
based on the degrees of it turning right 90 and it turning left 90 and that type of stuff.
So once it goes in the back there, then what happens with that tri-ball?
So once it's in here, we don't have a field here, so it's kind of hard to envision.
Demonstrate with your arm.
Yeah.
You would have a goal here that would have a bar, and the goal is to get these tri-balls underneath that bar.
So pick it up and...
So if we drive right into that bar, what will happen is because of these wedges that we've made, the intake will ride above the bar, and the ball will get shot right underneath.
Because those are curvy, you'll go.
So this
Yeah.
goes above the goal.
It almost makes that exact same sound.
Yeah, basically. If this goes above the goal and it shoves the ball in, so that when we back up from the goal, this will slide down, but the ball will stay in the net.
We do that because the tri-ball itself is slightly taller than the PVC pipe that goes across the front of the goal, so they can't just be rolled under. They have to be pushed.
You have to put force on it.
Okay.
And another method that we have to get the tri-balls underneath the net is on the back of the robot. Basically, through pneumatic pistons, we're able to extend the surface area of our bot on the back to have more of a pushing wall to go underneath the net. And that allows us to push a large, amount of tri-balls underneath the net.
Basically herd them.
Yeah. Because there's an engineering...
Like a snowplow.
Yeah, exactly. So this avoids a huge problem in the rules because if you're having a concave surface, technically you're not allowed to possess more than one tri-ball at a time, and that concave surface is technically possession. So by having a flat wall, you avoid that rule, and it's not possession, it's just pushing. So
Autonomous, driver skills, programming skills.
yeah.
Yeah, so basically to like explain the 3 awards that we received, like different components of the game. So we got Excellence Award, Tournament Champions, and Skills Champion. Tournament Champions is from winning the entire competition, which is basically through the matches where you're randomly selected in alliance out of 60 teams.
Yeah.
And then throughout like different matches, you like do well, and then you pick an alliance partner out of those 60 teams, and then you go into the elimination rounds. And we won all of the elimination rounds to win the entire thing. That was the Tournament Champions.
And then skills is a mix between driving for a minute and programming for a minute. So Nico is coding a path or a better path for this robot to be able to score the most amount of tri-balls underneath the net just by coding. And then it combines with the driver skills, which Jack drives to make the most amount of points in 1 minute.
Yeah, and it's 1 minute without any other bots on the field. So you have 1 minute to like take everything that's on the field and the tri-balls that are outside of it, and then try and score as many as you can without anyone trying to defend you.
And those scores put together are put on a world skills ranking that basically is a leaderboard comparing everyone's scores, and then the person on the top of that leaderboard is technically the world skills champion up until the next tournament.
Currently, we're 80th in the world, but 3rd in New England.
Yeah.
Out of
7,000 teams.
Yeah.
We're currently on skills.
Right. So this is for documentation. One of the things that is judged at the competition is how well you've documented the engineering design process. So how you iterated through the designs, how you did tests to systematically find like the best components to put on the bot. So over the past 5 months, 4 months,
roughly,
yeah.
We've been. I've been working on the engineering notebook. As they've been working on the robot, I've been keeping track of what they've been adding, and I've been. You can pass this around, I guess. Yeah. And that is 150 pages so far of documentation.
And to explain what that, like, the judging does for that, we got Excellence Award, which is, like, Tournament Champions and Skills Champion are not judged awards, meaning that we get those just for winning everything and then winning skills. But Excellence Award is through, like, the judges, like, reviewing all the teams throughout the day. We got an interview, they looked through the notebook, they watched our matches throughout the day, and at the end of the day, we were judged to be, like, excellence, to be the top team there, is basically what that means.
Like the most well-rounded team in every single category.
You're the best, yeah.
And the interview is kind of like this, where we explain the bot.
Yeah, we
to
explain
judges.
We explain the different components of the bot, how we came up to them, the engineering design process that led up to them. Basically, it's a way of verifying what's in the notebook.
How many hours do you think you put into this?
I wouldn't even.
Too many to count.
How many times a day do you come down to the lab?
Whenever we can.
What is it, average 3 or 4 periods a day?
Yes.
Up until this meeting, we were in the school working on the next robot.
Yeah, so.
Well, clearly, it's enjoyable, obviously.
Yeah.
So your next competition is in January
Our next competition is in December. And
with this robot?
yeah, so basically our plan after the last competition was that we sort of split into 2 groups. Me and Nico have been working on this bot to sort of optimize it, like fix any small issues we had in the November competition so that it would be like completely issue-free and ready for the December competition. While on the side we worked on the 2-month bot, so that one would be completely ready for the competition on January 20th.
Do they give you any restrictions or requirements on parts you can use? Like I see like a ton of...
Yes, so anything that's on this bot has to be VEX approved, meaning that they have to actively vend it. As far as like what you can do with them, there's really no limit as long as you're not messing with the electronics inside of like a motor per se.
How many motors can you have? How much
Yeah,
pneumatics?
so there's a limit to like how much of each material you can use. So like the motors you're allowed to have, each large motor is about 11 watts. So you're allowed to have a total of 8 motors or 88 watts. And we also have a pneumatic system that uses air to push out like pneumatic cylinders or pistons. And we are limited to have 2 air tanks with 100 PSI in each tank.
And it could only be 18 by 18 by 18 to start,
Yes.
but then it can grow.
Yes.
So
If you can figure it
at
out.
the beginning of a
Yeah.
competition, they go through inspection, so they make sure that everything's legal and all the rules, and the bot has to fit within 18 by 18. But the second the match starts, you can expand outside that 18 by 18.
So that's street legal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even the expansion has a limit, so during the match you can't expand larger than 36 inches in
Horizontally.
horizontally
So
in either dimension.
and our wings end up being like
Our-
35 and a half.
Yeah, our wings are 35 and a half.
What are the,
I feel like you could have some nets on the side.
So each one of those tabs represents one step in the engineering design process.
Uh-huh.
So in the top left of the page, you can see on each page you can see kind of like the top right. Sorry, you can see like kind of like a little like a rainbow ticker thing,
Yeah.
and so that is the same thing as the tab on the page. So those are it's just outlining like what on that page, like what step of the engineering design process relates to.
I see every page is dated, signed,
Yeah.
witnessed. Good job.
Yeah.
You ever want to get a patent, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Additionally, for our goals for the next competition, we are, as we said, we are 83rd on the skills ranking, but for Southern New England, we are 3rd. So that includes Connecticut, Massachusetts,
Rhode Island.
And we're trying to get our position on that leaderboard of Southern New England to number 1, which we're currently
14 points behind number 1.
yes.
Currently our score is 299, and the top score is
312.
312.
So we need 14 points to
Yeah,
take
14
number
points,
1.
yeah.
What's the max you could get in the?
We've
Mathematically, it's 640, but no one's actually
No one's nearly close.
In the world, the highest
It's
is
like 350 something.
368
Yeah.
So we're 298, and the top is 368. So
in the world. Yeah.
There's some room to grow.
Yes.
Alyssa, this is what Cole was up to.
Yes, my son was on robotics.
COVID got in the way of the competing, but they were prepared.
So is that a linear scale? Holy God. Is
The amount of points.
Yeah.
that Yeah. So it's purely based on each one of these being under the net gives you 5 points, and being on the opposing half of the field would be 2 points. And then there's
basically,
44.
to roughly
Yeah,
explain,
60,
if
sorry.
you haven't seen the field before, it's like a 12 by 12 of foam tiles, and then the offensive and defensive there's like a PVC pipe that goes across the entire thing.
Okay.
So, and one side of it, if you get them under the goal on that side of the field, it's 5 points, and then if you get them outside of the goal on that side of the field, it's 2 points.
So I'm just trying to understand the theoretical max and why.
yeah.
it's
So
much
there are 44
Match
match loads, and then there's 12 on the field. So if you get all 56 under the net, that'd be 56 times 5, and then you would get if you get that on your driver and your programming. That's what is that? It's like 330 times 2. So yeah, 660. Sorry.
But that's pretty much not possible because I don't think all 56 would even fit under the net.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So,
What are we averaging?
Yeah, right.
25
yeah.
under the net. Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I feel like I'm asking all the questions.
No, that's okay.
The goal is to go to Dallas, not Houston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you qualified yet?
So we are those 3 awards are qualifying awards for regionals, which is now in
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
And 100 teams from our region go to that, but only 16 of them advance onto Worlds by winning awards at regionals.
So you've qualified for regionals. Now you have to do well then.
Yes.
To go on to-
We can't qualify for Worlds until regionals.
Until regionals, got
but we believe in all of us that we are prepared to do that.
Got it.
And regionals is the 26th and 27th of February. So we have about a month and a half between our January comp and our
That's
regionals.
teams from Mass, Connecticut,
Yeah.
Rhode Island, and Southern New England region.
Got it.
Okay.
And where in Connecticut are you going to for that?
Bridgerton.
Yeah, I think yes, I've seen that.
The Total Mortgage Arena.
Got it.
It's a bit more inconvenient this year. It's usually in Framingham.
You're gonna need a new notebook. That thing is like.
Yeah, so when that one fills out, we actually submit 2 for every
I
competition.
don't even know if we're going to be able to fill it up because the pages are so. It's like doesn't close
Yeah,
anymore.
we're just gonna need some binding thing we're gonna do.
What's the 8568?
That's our
That's like
okay.
a playbook.
Each team in the entire Vex Robotics League, I guess, has a numerical code, and then the letter is the team that we are on at the school. So we're the A team at the school, so it's 8568, and then ours is A.
So there's like B, like 8, 5, 6, 8, B, C, and then however many North Andover teams there are, it goes like down the alphabet list.
I think we go down to N, right?
Yeah.
No, because
we skipped a lot to go to N. But yeah.
Excellent. So we're gonna throw some more balls there.
If you'd like us to, gladly.
I'm trying to catch one. I gotta get close.
If you get a chance on January 20th, you come to 60 teams that compete, 10 from North Andover High.
I think this is good.
Yeah.
The field reps all are graduates of the high school that are in college. Most of them are some engineers, and they come back and field rep and judge. Cole Koenig, just field rep, and then back as far as 2005 graduate Mark Svensson, 2006 graduate Dan Brosnan, Matt Cavallaro from 2011. They'll be coming back.
That's great.
Is January 20th at the high school again?
Yeah.
At our high school.
At our high school.
Do they have to be graduated from college or still currently students?
The ones that, the field reps are, they're all out of high school.
But still in college. I just, my son was on college.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I would say this sticks with
Oh, that's a little too powerful.
Do it. Take him down. Sorry.
How is Noah?
He's great, yeah.
I got two.
That's awesome.
They're slippery.
Oh, God.
Hey, thank you, guys. Excellent. Great job.
It's January 20th. I don't know if,
January 20th. What time is it? Like an evening?
Games start about 9 and run till about 4.
Whoa. Are you all planning on pursuing engineering, like, related?
Most of us.
Yeah, I'm doing engineering architecture.
I believe I speak for all of us. We come back as field reps in the future.
We'd like to stay as involved as we can, right?
I would say a couple years ago, I drove by the school coming from a family event at like 1 in the morning, and I saw some lights on, and I knew there was no one supposed to be at the school. So I went around back to the robotics room, and Mr. Motherway's there with the folks getting ready for the tournament the next day, like maybe 1:15 in the morning, eating Domino's pizza while they were still like adjusting and doing. So it's quite something else.
Again, thank you very much. Fantastic.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much.
It's like the best part of the day.
Can we invite them back so I can see robot number 2? I'll just go on January 20th.
January 20th.
Robotics.
Awesome.
Oh, that's for Mike.
Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
I don't know the name of the movie. These guys might, but is it Spare Parts where they create the underwater robot? One of the best movies out in LA, and they go against everyone. It's a high school team that goes against colleges and.
All right.
Just Kathy, she's not on it. She's okay. Superintendent's report. We're going to go really quickly. Just Marcy has just a brief update. The tiered focus monitoring review.
So that was
the Chair Focus Monitoring is DESI's review of all things special education. It happens every 3 years. It's not a 3-year rotation, so we are Part B. We finished our Part A was more procedural stuff. They came in, they look at your files and special education procedures. This review was focused on other aspects of special education, facilities, and civil rights. So they do an on-site visit, which for us was this past Tuesday. So a couple of Department of Education officials, their progress monitors come in. We hand them maps of our buildings, and they just kind of walk around to check out the facilities and pop into classes. They're looking for, in this case, they looked at some inclusion classes and some separate programs. And then myself, Pam Lathrop, Dr. Gilligan, one of the principals, met for exit interviews yesterday. Oh, today? Yesterday. All the days are running in together. So they send their reports 90 days post the today. So we should be seeing that in the next few months. I don't anticipate any issues. They didn't give us any indication that there were any issues. So there was a lot of positive feedback, so we look forward to seeing that.
Great. Thank you, Marcy. And then last but not least, in the superintendent's report is just the Nightside podcast. Nightside with Dr. Gilligan and Mealy is online. It's on Spotify. It's on NACAM. It's in the newsletter. And we've had 2 great guests so far. Ben Abbott, senior at the high school, this week. It seems like it was last week, but it was this week. We had Mary Julie Gregoire in, one of the Educator Hall of Famers. And then we're going to, we have some special guests after the new year. I'm not going to give you that one yet, but we're going to have some big guests. And, we're also going to then, we'll have a veteran teacher, and we'll have someone just starting out in the career. And we're asking some of the similar questions. So check out Nightside, the podcast. And thank you to Brian Frazier. Does an awesome job, and he's got a great studio.
All right, that's the superintendent's report. Any questions or discussion? All right, excellent. Now, really fun stuff. We're moving on to the chair's report, and the very first, and really excited to take our official vote on the successor agreement with the North Andover Teachers Association, and then we'll have a little signing ceremony. So, of course, I'm anticipating that we're going to approve it. So I would love to entertain a motion regarding the successor agreement.
So I'll move that we approve the North Andover Teacher Association and North Andover School Committee memorandum of agreement. There's a 1-year and a 3-year agreement, and I move that we vote on them collectively.
I'll second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Fantastic. Let's have a vote. Hope we go this way this time. Ms. Petrowski.
Yes.
Ms. Koenig.
Yes.
Mr. McDevitt.
Yes.
Mr. Hicks.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. I get to bang my gavel. It's approved. That first time I did that, he jumped out of the chair.
Well, it was also the first time I've ever had the gavel in the middle of the meeting.
All right, so now I would like to invite our guests to come up and sign with me. Or actually, should I go over there? Probably
Yeah,
easier
sure.
If I go over there. We have some special pens for the occasion. I haven't tested them yet, so we'll have to do that.
Yeah, why don't you 3 sit right there?
Well, we. Please. All right. So Michelle has asked us to sign 6 copies, so we're going to, be doing that. Let's
It's like getting a mortgage.
What's that?
It's actually
Let's make
more.
sure the pens work. Probably be a good idea, huh? First, I have to figure out how to turn them on.
Oh, they're not easy.
Slide it down.
Engineer.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. Oh, okay.
Slide the clip.
Slide.
Get it.
Oh, okay. And that one works.
That's for Kathy.
Yeah.
You need one more, Dave?
Yeah, that'd be great. There's a couple copies there too. Thank you.
read it already, don't
I
worry.
know.
But no, I know, but I gotta sit here.
Sorry, sign off.
Send those other two.
That's for Kathy to sign.
Okay.
Speed it up, I'll sign. Switch.
I'm not sure why we're saying so many copies, but.
Michelle asked me to, I'm not sure why either.
You get a couple of copies and we
Oh,
have,
that's
yeah.
Yes, you guys get 2 or 3 in.
I think some,
We each
they
get
have to be
3.
submitted to the state or, What?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We each
Yeah.
get 3, yeah.
yeah.
One goes to MTA, and I don't know what you do with the third one, but
Frame it.
I should have mentioned that our guests, our names, Julia Darman, our president, and Kathy Harris, our vice president. So we welcome them, and we're grateful that they're here, and we're really excited that this is done. So let me just see. Okay, yeah, this is the longer one. I think oh yeah, this is the signature page.
Yep.
I've read this so many times, I could probably practically have it memorized. And Michelle's further saying, if you're here and you're here, you may take 3 copies with you.
So 1,
3 of each, yeah.
2, 3, and then 3. And I want to thank all of you on behalf of all the teachers and all the people who are in the Unit A. I want to thank you for all of those peoples for what you have done. We are very thankful, and we want to thank the committee on behalf of them. Kathy, if you want to say
I
something.
second that. Very much appreciate all the hard work and dedication and staying there and getting it done. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And we're very, very grateful for our wonderful educators and talented educators, and we're glad that we've got 4 years with you now and put this into practice.
We're glad it's 4 years away too.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I think we're supposed to keep one of those, right?
One for me.
One for you, yeah. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Think you get to take this home?
You might want to just stay for the next item, Julia.
Oh, yeah, yeah, hang on 1 second, guys. The next item is of interest as well. So, as we promised during those negotiations, we're going to form a committee to review the stipends. And so at this time, I would like to see if anyone is interested in serving on that committee.
I would be interested in serving.
Fabulous. I therefore,
Second that.
I am appointing Pam Petrowski to serve on that committee and to get that going as we said we would, to review the stipends. And that is the chair's report. All right, school building committee updates.
Middle school, we have underground plumbing excavation and pipes being put in, and which is great. So there'll be water, and retaining walls are arriving on site so that the new road can be constructed to go around the side of the building. So I'm really excited about the progress that's being made. Soon there'll be actual building being built. But it's good work is on time, and this is great. Good things are happening.
All right, any update on Kittredge?
Really no update. I mean, we're continuing on with the selection process, and I think we'll probably have an update for the next meeting.
I think so, yeah.
The
It's the selection
14th.
process for the design firm.
Right.
Working with the owner's project manager.
Yeah, and
Yep.
that, I think that'll probably be decided by the next meeting on the 14th.
The process will be
Yes,
decided.
that's what I meant.
Yes.
Sorry. Yep.
Yep.
All right, excellent. Old business, we have two overnight field trip requests to review, the MASC and the German trip, German immersion trip. It's second reading and vote. So this is the Mass Association of Student Councils, not to be confused with the Mass Association of School Committees. Bringing the leaders across, we saw this already. Is there,
So I'll move to approve the overnight field trip to the MASC State Conference in Hyannis, Mass.
okay, motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Not, we'll vote. Let's go this way this time. Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. McDevitt?
Yes.
Ms. Koenig?
Yes.
Ms. Petrowski?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. So that one passes. I won't gavel that one, Greg, just to keep you calm over there.
I'll move that we that the school committee vote to approve the German immersion overnight field trip request as presented in the packet.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion? We reviewed it last time, so hearing no discussion, we'll vote.
I just want,
Yep,
I just
discussion?
wanted to make a note that
Yep.
I think last time it was a little bit late coming to us, so I just want to make sure that we avoid that next time.
Sure.
Because if this didn't pass tonight, I think people and families
Yes.
potentially lose funding.
$2,900.
Yeah.
I do just want to mention, we did suspend that third payment, so that no other payment was
that's
collected until you had a vote for that. And
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, if not, we'll move for a vote. Go this way this time. Ms. Petrowski?
Yes.
Ms. Koenig?
Yes.
Mr. McDevitt?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, so that one is now passed as well. Okay.
can I give you an update about a field trip, just so that you are a little bit aware of it when it comes your way? You had the robotics team that was here tonight, so they didn't know they would be, are you going to do that?
No, I was going to say that that is the one area that these guys are familiar with.
Okay.
And every year, the robotics team, they're going somewhere.
The
be
slight
qualified.
difference is that the last few years that it's been in Massachusetts, this year, as you heard, it's in Connecticut, so it's going to be an overnight field trip, and it's going to come to you late, so it's because we didn't find out about it enough to get it on this meeting, so I'll be bringing it forward to you next meeting, but no money has been collected.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
If we get at the next meeting, then we can vote out at the beginning of.
Jan-
Yeah, okay,
January.
thank you.
Yeah, those are ones, Pam.
And we've already
Miss
approved
Lathrop.
their Dallas one too.
Yeah, so they in the past, I think they've been to Kentucky, they've been all over the country. And they qualify when they qualify, so
Yep.
that's how it rolls. I think there's some other ones that could be like that too, like DECA, a few other competitive.
I think we've approved them conditional on their winning in the past.
This one is like
But this-
slightly this one is slightly different only because of the sort of trifecta, I believe, that they had, or something to that effect. So it wasn't in those original packages. It's an
Oh,
additional
gotcha.
one from the
Okay.
fall.
They're 80th in the world.
Yes, I know. But in light of some of the things that have happened in the past, I just wanted to bring it forward to you
Yeah.
tonight so that you would know why
Yeah, we
that's
appreciate
coming
that.
down.
What's the date of that trip?
That is February, I don't know, but it's in February.
Plenty of
But they
time.
don't have to book,
Sometimes.
they don't have to
Okay.
book plane tickets.
Oh, right.
It's a
Right,
bus
so that-
trip,
It's a
right?
bus.
It's a
Yeah,
bus trip.
So that is a factor sometimes.
Okay. All right. That kind of was like new business, I guess.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. So we are now in new business. Is there any other new business anyone has? All right, hearing none, we go to public comment again.
I just wanted to
Sure.
publicly say thank you to Ms. Picard for staying on with the negotiating committee and seeing that through to the very end and helping that agreement come to get made.
Yeah, I
Much appreciate her work.
I would agree.
Yeah, I emphatically agree, because as the new person on the committee coming in the middle of it, she was instrumental in making it possible for me to come up to speed, and she brought a lot of past knowledge that was super valuable. So yeah, I emphatically agree. It's great, and we do appreciate it. She's left already, but she can. Well,
Watching us now.
She's watching.
Yeah.
Thank you, Helen.
Thanks, Helen. All right, and I don't believe, any public comment? No. Okay, great. Then I guess we would have a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Oh, no, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Excellent. Motion made and seconded. I don't think anyone wants to discuss that. I make a big leap and assume that. What, well, we could just hang out, but I think probably we'd all like to go home and do whatever, eat dinner, for example. So if no other further discussion, I'll have a vote. I think it's this way this time. Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. McDevitt? Ms. Koenig?
Yes.
Ms. Petrowski?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned.